Preparing. We are live. Good morning or afternoon, you guys. We are so excited for this live. We're going to give it a second for everyone to get on. Let me just quickly share this out. I have a very special guest with me today, and I know that you guys have been excited to see who this is and hear an incredible story today, be inspired, and we're ready to get going. Okay, let me just share this out. Rusty, give me one sec. It's raining where I am now. Look at that. Look at the rain coming in. All right, here we are. Perfect. Okay, we got 8 on. You guys say hello in the chat. I'm going to be looking over here. I'm so excited for today. You guys, I want to give a very quick intro to a very, very special guest. I'm not going to say too much on his story because I'm going to let you hear it from him. But what I will say is I was at an event years ago and had the pleasure of meeting Rusty, who really just from the moment that we met, really just had this connection and have stayed in touch. And I'm really grateful for that because I really look up to you in this business and just you have helped me through, a lot and just your guidance and just you're an incredible person. So really honored to have you in our team page today to be able to hear your story, talk a little bit. We talked a little bit before this and I'm already fired up. So Rusty, please tell us your story. Tell us about you, and you guys give him a warm welcome. We got 20 people on so far.
Well, thank you, Jackie. Well, let me go back to when I was a kid, and I'm gonna set the tone for where we are today. And my father was a minister, so was my grandfather. I was born on a big farm over in Virginia on Smith Mountain Lake, and I'm the fourth generation firstborn. And so I'm going to catapult it on up all these years later. I wanted to be just like my dad. He treated my mother with respect. They was married nearly 60 years. I said, Daddy, how'd you do it? He said, son, you have to become the king right now. And he started going through the attributes of what it takes to be a real king and man. He said, and your queen will show up. And so exactly 7 days later, my wife, Robin, shows up. As soon as I saw her, I felt something funny. Eyeball to eyeball. I knew I fell in love with her. I could feel it. And so I asked my sister, I said, did you tell her they went to school together? I said, did you tell her I would like to ask her out in a group environment? She said, oh yeah. Because I went outside and told her, I said, I think I just fell in love with you. She looked at me like I lost my mind. And my sister didn't help me out any. She said she went home and told her mother your display of emotions, and then she threw up, and my sister was having fun with it. So I said, I'll take care. After ball practice that day, I went over, knocked on her mom's door. I said, Miss Crowder, I'm the guy that fell in love with your daughter. I said, can I see her? She said, no. I said, I'll see you tomorrow. The next thing, 5 straight days in a row, I looked at Miss Crowder. I said, Miss Crowder, I ain't like everybody else. I'm pretty sure what I want in life and what I'm going after. I said, now, I have the rest of my life to beat the paint off the side of your house, and I will see you tomorrow. Next day, I've been with Miss Lackey this February, coming the 17th, Jackie. I'll be 45 years. And so I'm not saying that like I'm some great guy. I just pretty know what I want. And so when you fall in love with the person, I'm going somewhere with the story. When you're initially all the dating and the fun and going to the fair, whatever, that's all fun. But see, I knew I had a partner in life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. See, when we got married a year later, it got real bad for us because we got real poor real quick. I lost my job. So we know what it's like to have no food for 3 days. We know what it's like to have no power. I know what it's like to feel like the guy that can't provide for your wife, and she had just become pregnant with our first little girl, and I can't feed her. So I'm picking up beer cans. I'm mowing yards. I'm washing cars, anything I can do for money. And if you've ever read my book, it talks about the guy that I met is still one of my best friends today, 40 some years later. He gave me a job just doing grunt work where I had enough money to get the power on, get groceries. That's where you heard me say I haven't eaten pinto beans in like 30 years. I bought a 100-pound sack, and that's all we had to eat, dry beans, which are good for you. I just don't like them though. I had enough in that period of time. She could have went back to mama. So many things she could have done, but I kept telling her, one day I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. I'm going to take you places you ain't never been. She said, well, we haven't eaten 3 days, get some food in the house. But she stuck with me. And so I get my break in banking over in Washington, D.C. with Congressman Hunkin in the banking law department. And it took me 60 days from October the 3rd to December the 10th. I become marketer of the year for that bank in the United States of America. I have an Oscar award. That's more money than I was making. Like, it hit the first month, I made like $24,000. I didn't know it was that much money in the world. And it went on to grow because I figured a formula out that worked for everybody else. Dyslexia has been a gift. And so now we're coming out of the bond, and the long commute is really terrible. So I transferred over to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I became the senior vice president of a major bank, top 5 from Federal Reserve. And now what I wanted most, I'm chasing money, but I'm neglecting what's most important to me. That my 2 little girls and this wonderful lady I live with, and I was totally committed to. And I met a guy named Mark Pentecost. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So when you believe in your abilities to perform because you will not quit until you win and you help others win, you're only crafting your story today. So the morning I talked to Mark Pentecost, and he shared this thing about this crazy rap thing back. I've been with Mark full time for 22 years. My only source of income. Don't need enough. And so he's laying it all out, and I have a banker's perspective. I'm trying to punch holes in his deal, and I can't. So 7.5 months later, I called to fly out 3 hours late. I was going to New Orleans to finish up a merger. And I called to fly out 3 hours late. This particular year, I missed my daughter's Christmas church function. I missed everything, all their little ball games, and they just wanted me to come see them get their awards. And I called out of sheer respect for leadership. And he said, no. I said, why not? He said, because I said so. And I said, oh, you micromanaging now. And be careful what you ask God for. He will test you, but he'll bring it into your life. And you have to seize it. It's not, God is not a genie. Opportunity is not welfare. Welfare, free has no value. Welfare does not work. It creates dependency, and then you quit again. That is a social learned behavior habit. And so I told my 2 little girls, which are daddy's girls, if you ever see me over in your country on one of these big hunting trips I go on, the blonde-headed girls are my daughters. They're my best friends. Their mother and them. And now my little granddaughter, she's a year old. She's getting ready to have all that fun with us. But they wanted a pinky promise. I said, I'll never miss nothing the rest of your life. I flew in on Sunday evening. Monday morning, I drove over to the bank, and I fired him very early in the morning. I said, but I want to tell you why I'm firing you. You made me realize what's most important to me, and it's not you, and it's not this check. Now that's $550,000 a year, not counting perks. Doing very well, but I was chasing something. It was creating a detriment and devaluing who I was as a daddy, a husband, a family man, everything in my value system. So I jump in my truck. I live about 2 hours. I live in rural North Carolina, 2 hours from Charlotte. And so, I'm coming home. I'm excited about my new venture. And then I said, oh God, I got to go home and tell my wife what I just did. I called my father. I said, remember the house deal, Robin? I just quit my job. I said, he said, you didn't discuss it with her? That was a rule at my father's house. Everything is an open discussion, and we make decisions together. This particular time I didn't. And so as soon as I told him that, he said, I will not go over and do your job for you. I said, well, call the coroner, because I'm pretty sure she's going to collect the life insurance. And as soon as I got home, I backed my truck in, and I get out, and she said, why are you home? We going somewhere? I said, yeah. I said, not really. I said, I just quit my job. She said, what? I said, I quit my job. And Robin Lackey is the one that started the deal with us with the Applegate. She called me about a thing where she could lose the 2 baby pooch from having our daughters in an hour. I saw the value in taking it to the public, how we could create opportunity for others. And she gets very mad at me. And I really thought she was so angry. I never heard her use this particular vocabulary about me walking away from her. She saw us going back to poverty with 2 children. I saw me making my break for freedom. I go in my office, I lock the door, and I call Mark. I said, you ready to do the thing, Mark? He said, yeah, you're going to do it? I said, yeah, I'm going to do it full time though. He said, explain full time. I said, Mark, don't get candy on me now. I'm coming after you. I said, I just walked away from the bank this morning because you sold me a vision and I trust you. I can't get it out of my mind and my head, but my family is worth more. They say, we're going to hold your job open for 90 days or something. I said, no, I'm not coming back. If I have to get a job on a trash truck or go back to the farm and start farming, I know how to do it. And so I put a full effort into it. The first 28 days, we become double diamonds. We built the organization about 600 and some people, but I stayed consistent about 20 hours a day working the time zones, putting things together. All we had then is conference calls, three-way phone calls. There was absolutely no social media. The internet was still in its infancy. But we just kept on it. Who do you know? Let's share the vision, what we did. I got thousands of no's. But through the 10 people I sponsored, there was 635 yeses. And that, what I did the first month still pays me 22 years later because it birthed a monster business. And I still work it as hard as I did from back then because it is a passion for me. So here's the real story. God already knew what was going to happen in my life. I believe in preordained before the foundation of the world. And I'm not overly religious. But he knew I was going to need it. So in the second year, I started getting very sick. I've always power lifted. I played football at a major college and about 258 monster. I still hold the state weightlifting records in North Carolina from high school. I didn't know that until I met one of my old coaches the other day. And I started getting sick and they found the tumor wrapped around my pituitary. I didn't know what a pituitary was. And so in 4-year period, I went from 258 to around 750 plus. That's all their scales at the hospital would weigh. I'd become an invalid. And then I had to go through the treatment process. And after the treatment process of 9 months, the most horrible things ever been done to my body, they gave me 6 months to live. That's when we started bringing the greens and all the stuff on. And so I come home to feel sorry for myself and died. And my father said, I raised you to be a warrior, not somebody that gives up. You got 2 little girls right there and you have a wife. They're your responsibility. Made me mad, Jack. Angry. Here I'm sick and he's talking to me that way. It's the best thing you could have ever done. So I told my old girl this, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I will fall dead in the yard before I give up. Because y'all are my why. Today, my daughters and my wife and my granddaughter is still my why. We're on the 4th biggest run I've ever had. All the 22 years was nothing more than a training ground for where we are. I promise to God, in Dallas, Texas, if you don't walk out there crying a bath towel full, you don't get it. So I started fighting and I started talking to the formulators and I started taking excessive amounts of greens. It helped me have a lifestyle change. And in the last 16 years, I've not had a medication in my body, not an aspirin for headache. I've lost over 500 pounds and I'm back to powerlifting like I did when I was 18. They say at my age, in my 60s, you can't do it. I said, well, please come work out with me then. I'm not doing this to brag. I'm doing this. I want to be the best version for your team, for my wife, for my daughters, for It Works Global. I want to be the new story that changes the face of what we do, but why we do it. The most important thing to you is creating your product story, is taking care of you. I cannot effectively love nor take care of my wife, my daughters, or my granddaughter, my son-in-law until I take care of me first. And so over 500 pounds, first million was made in 42 months. 10 other people made it with me on our team. And so I'm not saying that to brag. It's just we got in and we worked hard, but we worked very smart and it was never about us. It was about who can I help go to the next level? How can I take what's important to you and craft a solution for your problem and to help grow your confidence and grow you as a person? Self-development is a big deal. Physical well-being. I journal every day. Not only do I read a lot of books, I self-help. I just got my newest book came yesterday, Change Your World by John Maxwell and his co-author. I love to read. I don't know everything. So every day I try to learn something new. And one thing I want you to understand, you're not in competition with nobody and It Works because of position. You're in competition because of disposition, who you're going to become, and the people you're going to impact with your story. See, your story is the most important story of your life. That story is what's going to impact people. They could hear mine 1,000 times and hear yours once, and they get it. Because you're the person that's supposed to relate to that person to change their life, to show them there's a better way. And right now, I've been told that we have the longest running, most successful organization in direct sales because I never quit. I never took all the money they offered. I don't need it. I've made enough up to this point, but I plan on going to a level that they've never seen before. And I'm not saying it's to brag, just watch, because you never quit when you're excited, when you have a passion to help other people. When you make it about you, you start feeling sorry for yourself. But you know what I found out, Jackie? You can never deposit excuses. They have no value. They don't take them at the bank. They don't take them anywhere. And if you focus on the little old problems that you've got, you make it bigger. And therefore, you don't see the opportunity, which will get you out of those problems. You just become immune to it. Don't become immune to everything everybody else says. Don't become immune to because people quit. I don't follow quitters. And so right before I fell out of the tree on a hunting trip and cracked my hip and had to get it replaced, that's the first meds I had. And because I got injured deer hunting with my son-in-law. And I won't go into that story, but now I do have non-doctors in business with me and 14 nurses before I left the surgery that are customers of mine. Now the doctors are chickens, they put their wives in. Me, if I was a doctor, I want you to know I was doing it. Not saying that to brag, but they saw I never missed a lick while I laid in the bed healing up because they over medicated me. They made me stay longer because I've not had any medications in so long. And I'm sitting on my phone working and calling. It's crazy. And so you never let nothing stop you from where you're going to go. Their adversities come. And I've heard people say the devil is fighting me. No, it's God putting you in a position to grow you. You don't look at that as roadblocks or stepping stone. How can I grow through this so I can handle what is fixing to come? So there again, my 22 plus years with Mark full time has been nothing more than basic training for where we're fixing to go. I know that to be a matter of fact. I talk and pray with the Pentecost family every single day, 7 days a week. I've only missed 3 days in 22 years because my father was done. We have a relationship, and our core being that creates our culture is wrapped around God Almighty. That's the one that gave you the air, the breath you just took. That's the one that set you up for the success you're fixing to have. And I refuse to quit. And I'm going to tell you why I'm with Mark forever. We shook hands and we said we'd never lie to each other at Fuddruckers in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is a little hamburger joint. That's before we started making it well. And in the third month, Mark called and said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I'm getting it." He said, "I got to be honest with you." Okay. So what we agreed on, he said, "We're broke." We're broke. Okay. So what does that mean? He said, "We ain't got no money." I said, "Well, I meant to ask you what we going to do about it." He said, "I sold my house this morning so I can pay." My check was only like a little $12,500, $800, somewhere. He put his family's way of life on the line for me. That's the integrity that the Pentecost family has. Anybody else would have called me and said, "Well, Rusty, we're sorry it didn't work. You can go back to the bank." He believed in our word with each other. He believed in what we were doing. He believed in where we were going. So he made sure he took care of me. You could come at me with $1 billion in cash. I said, "See, I don't have enough years left in my 60s to rebuild my character, my reputation, and who I really am for no $1 billion. I can go make $1 billion." And really, I already see that happen. But I can tell you, I ain't for sale. Because if you sell out for the $1 million, I don't know what they offered you. I know they offered me $1 million the last go around. I said, next week I'll have to sell out for $2 like a crack addict on the side of the street. I'm not for sale. I'd be trying to buy one of my kids or something. What you gonna get is a lot of trouble coming for me. And it's gonna be vicious. And so I'm gonna tell you that there's people that had to get out of our way in order for us to go where we're going. We can't keep dragging the dead weight with us. So I'm so happy that God put things in place to eliminate those people that quit or gave up, or it's just so no, they made it hard because they stopped participating in the dream or where they were going. They were doing very well. But see, it was about their position, not their disposition. I'm not knocking nobody. God bless you wherever you go. I hope everybody's best. But you can't be your best when you walk away from the best thing happening in direct sales, because if that happens, please show me something better than I got. And I won't join you, but I'll call Mark up and we'll figure out how to buy it if you got something better than we do. But here's what I'm going to say. For everything out there, please show me somebody that has my before and afters with their line of products that had the success I've had physically. And I'm in. It's not out there. I can't find nobody that's lasted the past 90 days, 6 months, whatever. And I'll put my medical record on the line because it's always on my medical record. The reason the doctor's in business with me is it's green, college, keto coffee, skinny brew coffee. I had them listed in my medical record. That's all I take because that is a preventative measure. It makes every day I live the best day I've ever had. I don't have bad days ever. Oh, stuff happens, but I view it much differently. How can I conquer this? So I'm going to tell you this because I got some guys on my team. Every time they come to me with a problem, they bring about 3 solutions with them. I've taught them to be solution oriented. That's called critical thinking. And when you have the ability to critically think, that's supposed to be a problem. But how do we conquer the problem? We hit it at every angle, but we do it as a team. That's why it works. I totally believe in every fiber of my being. Network Flow will be the #1 direct sales company in the world. It won't take much longer for what it's coming down to. What you're going to learn in Dallas, and that's just the beginning of where we're going. I hope that's what you wanted, Jackie.
Okay, I'm looking over here. I have to add you. The only thing I'm like, I wish you could see all the comments and everybody watching right now. I'm going to add you to my team page after so you can come back and read these all because you're blowing everyone away. And this is just, I think the biggest thing that I take from you and sharing your story and, everything you've gone through and like, just even the fact, like I look at people today and people are so willing to quit everything in their life, and I feel like 6 years is a long time. 23 years, like, you've been at this thing for 23 years and what you would have had to go through and the resiliency you've had in not just your business, but your life. And like, it is the mindset of a champion. And I think that's the biggest thing that's hitting everybody here. Everyone's saying, I need to meet him. Yes, we were just talking, we're going to do a little thing in Dallas. So you guys better get to Dallas because you're going to meet Rusty in Dallas. But, just the resiliency you've had. And I think that's what people need to take from you is life is hard. You are going to get hit. You are going to be walking down the road and, it feels like you're punched out of left field. And I think you can choose the perspective you have in anything. Anything that you go through, you can choose how you're going to look at it. And, sometimes when you hear what somebody goes through, that is truly something that actually matters. You realize how much time we spend worrying about this small shit that doesn't matter. The small things in life that we're spending so much time focusing on and worrying about, when you change the perspective of like, man, there's somebody else going out there that's going through a hell of a lot more than I am right now. And they're choosing to make it work. It gives you a different perspective of how to show up. So I know we spoke about this a little before, and you guys, I begged and pleaded, I'll tell you, but he wouldn't tell me. So he's not going to tell us, but I want you to give us some excitement and vision, not specifically what's coming, unless you want to, just joking, but you know what I mean? But what are you excited about? You've been in this company for so long. You've seen the changes. You've been through the seasons. We can feel the shift, guys. Give us a heart in the chat if you can feel the shift of where we're going. What are you most excited about?
We're pivoting and we're going to rebrand our look. We're going to have a new product that's going to spearhead what we stand for and what we stand about. It's everything we're looking at is going to be state of the art. I'm even working on my professional level. I'm a professional network marketer, but on my other profession, I'm working for things for Mark right this minute on a different level that has the possibilities once we get to Dallas and we meet with all the powers that be with it works. From what I see fixing to happen, life as you know it's fixing to change. So what I want to tell you, whatever you've been through, whatever you think your heart is, I'm going to tell you another story in a second that's going to relate to everything that we've talked about. This is nothing more than a training ground. So I was 5 years old. My I'm the fourth generation firstborn, born on a big farm in Smith Mountain, Virginia. The farm was 5,000 plus acres, and it was a big family deal. And so my grandfather fought for George General Patton in the Second World War. And at 5 years old, he was showing me all the medals I'm going to get because I'm his first. And he talked about leadership, how your shoes are always shining, you're always a cut above. You get up earlier, you go to bed later, you take care of your physical well-being, and you exude leadership. And then it got to the last three medals. Like, how did you get those? Because I was like, I hate to say this, I was his firstborn, but I was his favorite. Everywhere you saw my daddy and grandfather, I was with them, period. You know, they taught me how to work hard, how to never quit, how to honor your word, a lot of things they taught, but I said, how'd you get the last three medals? I want to know. And I do, they're here in my home. And he said, I had to kill people. 5 years old, you don't understand it. How'd you do that? He said, it ain't how I done it, it's why I done it. So why'd you do it? He said, for the love of your grandmother, the love of your father, I knew one day you were coming. He said, so I put it all on the line. Because my grandson was not going to be under Nazism or Hitler. I was fighting for your freedom. I want to tell you ladies this team. All those years ago, Mark and I had the same attitude. We knew Jackie Darian was coming. So we put it all on the line. I had no idea who she was, but I knew I was doing it for somebody because I'd already been exposed to this lifestyle, this leadership as a kid. And so quitting, what? I don't even know that word. If I believe in something, you have to kill me. You can never beat me on anything. You know why? You might beat me up today. I'll be sitting on the hood of your truck in the morning waiting on you to come out. You ready? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And the more you do it again, the better you get. The resilience that you get, the confidence that you get, you never quit. Because how do you want your kids to view you? Well, mommy's in another one of those things. Oh, she took the 40,000 and oh, there was a bridge to it. They didn't tell her that, and now she's got a year and she can't do nothing, you know, all that other craziness. So you're a sellout. So next week you're standing on the street corner as a $2 crack whore. That's how I look at it. Please forgive me for the language, ladies. And I just never saw it. So you're not better than nobody, but your class is a cut above. So here's how I make sure that I take the right advice. One, have you done it? Do you have the years in? See, the four guys I run with now, they're all, well, Mark being one of them, they're 4 billionaires. I think like them, I talk like them, I fly like them, I do everything like them because I'm on my way to be the fifth one. I'm not playing. It's not a joke. I'm not bragging. I work very hard. I work very smart, but I know how many people that I have to help get to the next level. And the reason I'm so willing to help Jackie, I love this girl to death. The first time I met her, she walked over and had drinks and supper with my wife and I just had met her and there was something different. I don't take to a lot of people. I just don't. There's something real about it. And so if I won't take advice from you, it's because you can't show me you've done it. So before I had the injury, my baby daughter and I would get up around 4 o'clock, and by 4:30 we would run with a team of people. And we did it to inspire each other. So my little daughter invited some little girl that was a psychologist, and beautiful blonde-headed girl. I don't say much anymore. I'm trying to stretch. I'm the oldest guy in the field. I'm not first, but I sure ain't last in these runs. And I want to be with people better than me that makes me better. And so I left the team that I was, the running team, because I kept winning. I kept coming in first and my endurance was better. So I needed to go somebody who pushed me more. So how are you? My baby daughter now, she's helping daddy stretch. And I said, well, wow. Well, thank you for coming, showing the commitment to the team. And yep. I said, what do you do for a living? She said, I'm a psychologist. I said, in what field? She said, a marriage psychologist. She looked to be about mid-30s. Wow. So you married? She said, no. Did you ever been married? She said, 3 times. I said, wow. Thank you for telling me this. I can never take marriage advice from you. If you can't make it work, what are you telling those people? She got angry. And I already knew her next question because her carotid artery was jumping. And I already know it. I've already won. That comes from a lot of years of high negotiation and banking. She said, well, how long you been married? I said, well, at that time, I said, I've been with the same girl 43 years. I've never dated another one. I said, not saying that to brag. I'm not no holier than thou. I just know what I wanted. So now I told you that to tell you this. When you fall in love with somebody, initially, it's not really love. Love grows through the years. So I have the most wonderful wife in the world, period. Here's why. Because when I got sick and I become for 4 years, I could only talk on the phone. I've become almost an invalid. She took care of me. She could actually took everything I had and walked out of here and I'd have been, it'd been over. She had to do things for me no man wants her sweetheart doing for him. She stayed right by my side. She made sure everything and run the whole family, the household, and basically the back end of our business. You tell me what's true love. So don't ever take marriage advice from somebody that's been divorced 3 or 4 times. Don't take business advice from people that continually quit and trying to find the best deal. You have the best deal because you are the best deal. And when you make up your mind, I'm going to be a professional and I'm not up for sale. When you make up your mind that that's where you are and that's what you're going to do, hard is to make you better. Hard is to give you the experience you need in marriage and getting your health back and building a business and whatever it is you're doing. If you have no heart and it's continually easy, you ain't got nothing going on. You're sitting in the middle of the floor in fairy tale land, reading fairy tale stories to the kids, and you haven't grown up. But I'm gonna promise you, if adversity is hitting you physically, financially, your business, relationships, that is something that God puts there to grow you to the next level of maturity, so you won't waste the next level of blessing. How do I know? Hell, my whole life has been that. I'm coming out of some hard things, being injured, having to take 2.5 years off, getting cut. They OD me on pain medication the first time. I get mad at everybody. I said, you ain't give me nothing else. I ain't had a medicine in all these years. In 3 hours, you about to kill me on your stuff. I told my baby daughter, Sam, which you met her, Jackie. I said, go home, get my greens and get all my stuff. They said, what about the pain? I said, hey, I'll take care of the pain right here. I never took another pain medicine. I healed in 10 days and there's people still, and it's been a year now. I'm back to full bore workouts. Not saying that to brag, but I'm put the best nutrition in my body available for human consumption. If we don't make it, I don't take it. That's how much I believe in what I'm doing. But I got the before afters and I've got the last 16 years of after. It's nice to have a before and after. How long that lasts? I'm trying to create another after. And I'm doing it. I'm not going to tell you how I'm doing it because I want to be the new face of It Works from 50 and above. I want to help you build your business in markets that you're not touching right now because I can prove that we've done it. That's what I'm doing for Mark. Y'all, It Works. I work out hard every day. They say, well, you work out too much. Well, hell, you engage in something too much all the time, whether it's alcohol, food, bad thoughts, watching TV. Throw the TVs in the trash. There's nothing but propaganda. They just want to lie to you to keep you depressed. I'm not scared about the future. I don't care what the rest of them are saying. My future is bright because I am prepared for whatever they throw at us because that'll be temporary. And if you're well conditioned mentally and physically, it does not mean anything. That's only to the weak people that are scared. I ain't scared. I'm supposed to die twice already. So they said, So I figured I got a pretty good chance of having a long, lengthy, healthy life. But here's what excites me, Jack. The one thing that drives me, I never have a bad day. I'm not saying things don't happen. I said, God, if you allow me to live, I'll never have another bad day. I want to get up and say things and interact with people that adds value and enriches that person. If they never see me again, they don't ever know who I am. That feeling and that thought that I got in that 10 seconds, 2 minutes, I've impacted them where they will multiply that forward. And once they multiply something forward, it impacts people all over the world. That's what I want to be known for. Or today's my last day, or I lived another 100 years. I want to know I made a difference in y'all's life. This little Zoom, this little live, that I said something that inspired you. You already have everything you need. Greatness was put in your DNA when you was nothing more than a fertilized egg going down your mom's fallopian tube right before you were birthed into this plan. the richest places in the world is the graveyards. People die with all that great stuff in them because they listened to a bunch of broke people. And I want to reach in and pull that shit out of you. And when I pull it out of you, you're going to go make you're the next world changers. And I can tell you, when that begins to happen, the impact, you want to be a person of impact or being impacted. Society will impact you with the most negative stuff to control you. I want you to become that person of hope and impact. When you share your story, you do it with such passion because it's yours. You own it. You do it with such passion that you're impacting everybody in your audience. Forget about the money. Forget about the position. It's the disposition that will get you all the positions and money. You can't even spend it. Oh no. Happy life is where it's at. Then you start to attract people on a different scale. You attract, it's a law of attraction. You sit and think about it all you want to. Get your ass in gear and go to work. Then it's your work ethic that attracts the right people who want to go where you're going because they see that you're real, you're serious about what you're doing. You're going to have problems? No, you're going to have growing pain. They're not problems. They're something for you to critically think and grow past it. And once that begins to happen, you're the next thing that's happening. But the one thing that you impact, I've impacted my 2 grown daughters, which are still daddy's girls. They're independent. That's the way I raised them. You never need a man for nothing. Oh, you need a man to love you, but he's got to love you on my level, the way I love you. But I want you to be able, if something were to happen, you never miss a lick. I love independent women. I love you to see how to make it happen. That gives you everything that I believe you deserve. And y'all can whine and bitch and cry about whatever they said on YouTube or what they said here and there. Be the one that makes the difference. It sets yourself apart. You're not better than nobody, but you're getting better because you're putting a conscious effort into it. Not a thought. You can think about stuff all day long. You can find things that'll rob your time all day long. What is your income generating activity? So here's my plan, Jack. Every night before my wife and I go to bed, we make a daily plan of action at what times, even my workouts are scheduled into it. If you're not on my schedule, when we talked the other day, I called Robin and I said, put Jackie on the schedule, whatever she wants, clear it out. And when you get on my schedule, and we're going to work on my schedule. If not, somebody will always have you paying you to work on their schedule. So you make that plan of action. I transfer it to a planner. So I do live out of a planner, but it's mine. I don't wake up our alarm clocks, but I do get up at 4 a.m. naturally every day. I mean, I'm not saying it to brag. It's just how I live life. It's things, but I journal every morning. I journal everything. I journal where I'm going, how I'm going to get there, my thought. I do devotions every day. I read every day. I'm not saying I'm the greatest. I'm just trying to get better. So if I get better today, I have a little bit more to offer you tomorrow. Because if I offer you what I had last week, guess what? That ain't nothing. That's old news. So I want to tell you something. I lecture at some major colleges because of, and I give that to those kids because I want them to be better. And so here's what I teach them. I have a minority college, well, about 2 hours from here I go, and the people don't feel good about themselves. I said, I want to tell you how to rewrite your life in 1 year. Are you ready? You want the secret? Yes. I said, I want you to have 2 journals. I love yellow legal pads. I transferred it over to my journal, to my plan. I said, write down the definition of who you believe you are right now. Be transparent. Be honest with you. If you feel like you're a podunk, whatever, write it down. On the next one, I want you to write down the definition of who you will be in 12 months from today. Be audacious. If you do that every day, that journaling, that writing down who I am today, you'll be able to track yourself, how you're going to get better every day. You'll rewrite your life in a year. And there's nothing too big that you can't rewrite because it changes your expectations, it changes your actions, it changes everything about you because you're committing it to paper. You have to have a pen, not your phone, not your tablet, not your computer. Well, I take it, no, damn it, get a pen and write it down, and you start to internalize it. See, this technology is they're trying to kill our sense of communication with each other. That's what it takes for human beings to thrive. Get back to the old school, how all the billionaires in the world do it. Do what they do, and you'll be like they are. You'll become who they are as well. But you'll be able to bring that out of you, that billionaire idea, that billionaire action, that you have, you'll be able to create a whole lot of solutions for a whole lot of problems for a whole lot of people. That's how you do it. You can't do that sitting on your ass posting all day. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with it. I play with that just a little bit. But my claim to fame is how this company is here and still here, as I do a lot of phone calls during the course of a day, and I do a lot of three-way phone calls. I still have conference lines that I use for my team where we do conference calls every night. In 7 to 10 minutes, I've exposed hundreds of people to the business, and it's your job to follow up with them and create the three-way and then create the close. But everything has to offer value to find out what they want, not what you want. How can I help you? Then you'll never worry about what you want because you've taken care of the problem in a particular order that creates solvency and brings them into a culture of people that care about helping other people. That's why we say one team, one mission, we are one. Think about what those two statements, when you utter those statements, think about what they really mean. Everybody wants to be a part of somebody that's going somewhere and is winning, not somebody that's bitching, whining, and crying. And how bad it is. My feelings got hurt. Who gives a shit about your feelings? They don't care about it at the bank nor the power company, do. Go to the grocery store and tell them your feelings hurt. I'll pay you next time. Yeah, see how that works for you. Anyway, sometimes I like to be real and raw, but now is the most opportune time to create sheer wealth. There's a lateral transfer of sheer leadership, and a transfer of wealth is happening right before your eyes. When I say leadership, that's not quittership, that's not sellout, that's the people that they fought through it. You don't mess with that team over there. In fact, I want to be with those guys. I don't want to fight against them because you're going to lose very badly. But if I'm with them, I'm going to win because they win on a higher scale, a higher level, because I'm not saying we're better than anybody. We just perform better. Get your mind right. Get in the game and get all in. Don't get your damn foot. It's too hot. No. Jump all in. And now every morning I do a cold plunge with my pool out back, and the water is about 40-some degrees. It used to really like put me in shock. And I was born in the mountains where we did that, and in the river when we were kids. If you get up and take at least a cold shower for 3 or 4 minutes every day, you'll be surprised how that changes everything in your mind and your body. Learn to fight through the uncomfortable, and you'll live at any level of comfort that you want. The life at its best is never going to be easy. Life is always going to be challenging. So I want to ask you, are you up for the challenge? If you stuck it with us this far, you've made it. If you make it to Dallas, you're going to know damn sure you made it. I promise. And at the first of the year, you're going to know damn sure you made it again. Like, good God Almighty, what's next? Well, I'll tell you what's next. You're what's next. Make up your mind to get all in and become a professional at where you are. And make up your mind it's not about your position, that you're going to have the sweetest disposition and people are going to be attracted to you because you have nothing but positive things to say to them. You want to build people. It's not the go-getter, it's the go-giver. The law of reciprocity states, if I come into your life and I help make something of consequence happen, it reciprocates right back into my life. So what goes around comes around, but it has to flow through me. I can't just do this. I have to do this. And once that begins to happen, team, you begin to happen. But you're making what? You're marking the world, but you're becoming a person of positive impact. Does that make sense?
Yes, this has literally been I'm looking at the chat, Rusty. You have impacted so many people today. Like, you're incredible. You're amazing. I think this might be the best call that we've ever done. I really just think everything that you said today really is what everyone needed. And I'm just really grateful for you. I'm like, I don't even have the words to thank you. I'm very grateful for your leadership, for your heart. Just like I said, ever since I've met you, you've really impacted me, and I appreciate you so much.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
I can't wait to see you in Dallas. And
Hey, I can't wait to hang out with you guys. I got some brand new people flying in with me. I'd like for you to meet these guys. And remember, I don't care whose team you're on. If you're and it works, you're part of the family. And when you're part of the family, that's what creates solvency to our culture. That means you have a foundation to go build anything you want to. Nobody's made the most or done the most yet. You're the next one that's going to be the person of impact that takes it to a new level. And you're only setting the foundation for somebody else to take it to another level. And I got this one last thing to tell you, Jackie. This is what nobody can argue with. I have 3 generations of a full-time family in my family now because of It Works Global. My wife and I, my 2 daughters, and now this little granddaughter y'all keep seeing on my social media, Facebook every once in a while. She's grandpa's baby girl. And I was FaceTiming when I was coming home. My driver had the FaceTime on. And I said, as soon as I go do this for my buddy Jackie, I'm coming up to the farm, and me and you're going to be at the 4-wheelers, and we're going to ride, and just whatever she wants to do. Can you imagine 3 generations of your family because you did it right and you buckled down and you got busy, you got professional with what you're doing? This will be impacting not only your children, but your grandchildren. Please tell me that it won't happen. It's already happened in my life. I have proof positive. This will impact you for generations to come. If I fall over today, Hadley, my own granddaughter, will be getting paid years to come after Grandpa's gone because we've done it correctly this one time, and we continue to add to it. You tell me what's better now. I'll call Mark. I'll get him to join this Zoom right now. And guess what? Because I think he just got off the jet in Florida. He'll get on the Zoom right now. He'll tell you the same thing, but you're going to learn so much in Dallas as to why I've been with this guy all these years. I put my trust and faith in his word almost 22 plus years ago. And look where we are. That's a man of honor and integrity.
Sure. Yeah. You know, I don't think many people can say that they have the people behind their company like we do here. You know, there's going to be the shiny things, all the shit that doesn't matter. But when you look at the heart of this company, I mean, it's unmatched. It
Yeah.
really is. And
Well,
you're a big part of that. So we appreciate you.
yeah, if I have to stand up and tell you who I am and what my position is and all that stuff, that means absolutely nothing. I told myself I don't want to be in Success Magazine anymore. Is there other people need to be there?
Mhm.
I don't need that. I need to know that I've made a difference today in somebody's life. That's enough for me. I used to, it was fun, but now when you hit a certain level, you kind of lead from the back of the room and you keep moving it forward, leadership, cultivate. And once that begins to happen, next thing you know, you wake up one morning, you bust out into tears because you just went back and looked, and things will begin to happen in your back office that you never dreamed. That was only a pipe dream at one time that comes into a reality because you become the person that deserves it because you earned it. If you don't earn it, you're not going to get it. So anything I can do for this team, hell, Jackie, you got my private phone number. Nobody else got it except Mark, Cindy. Whatever you need,
You're
count
amazing.
me in. Yes, ma'am.
We appreciate you and love you so much. And like I said, I'm going to send you the link to this after. You got to come through and read these comments. We love you. And you guys better be in Dallas. So
Yeah.
Rusty, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, taking time away from your family to be here. And I can't wait to see you.
Hey, well, I'll see you in a couple weeks. And if you'll send me the recording for this, text it to me or whatever.
I will. And
all right, well, have a great evening.
We've confirmed best call yet.
All right.
Okay,
have
love
a
you
great
guys.
day. See you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.